Hello, everyone. So, I'm making this video more so about just Barr and Richardson and kind of just. It looks like they're being penciled into a one or the other kind of situation, I think, either way, no matter if they clear up some cap space like I was talking about yesterday, or, in general, even. And all the, all the stats I have are from Pro Football Reference, and Richardson. I'm all going over 2018, by the way, because they were both there the same year. And, you know, for Richardson, he only spent 1 year with Minnesota. If this is his only year. But Richardson had 4.5 sacks, 16 quarterback hits, only 6 tackle for losses, had 26 solo tackles, 23 assisted tackles, and 49 combined tackles. And I know that doesn't look like a lot, but he also did have a 72.2 Pro Football Focus grade. He was ranked as the number 50th ranked defensive interior lineman, and by their standards, this went into the above average realm. Now, Anthony Barr, he had 2 pass deflections this year, no picks. He had 1 forced fumble. He had 3 sacks, 4 quarterback hits, though, 39 solo tackles, 16 assisted, and 55 combined tackles with a 71.4 Pro Football Focus grade. And that was good for the 26th ranked linebacker and was also in the above average realm. Now, I do know some of you guys don't like the idea of Pro Football Focus, but that it's kind of just another attribute to throw in there. Take it with a grain of salt. It's not the end all be all, but it's there, and it's kind of helpful sometimes. But I think Richardson, I think he causes a lot of disruption that doesn't necessarily show up in the stat sheets. And I know you might look at, 4.5 sacks is replaceable. 6 TFLs is most certainly replaceable. You can play 16 quarterback hits, but I don't think you can really replace what he brings very easily at the same time, just because I think he pushes the interior of the pocket so well that it really wouldn't surprise me if a good number of Danielle Hunter's sacks actually came from the fact of either Richardson getting the pressure and pushing him outside to Hunter, or the other way of they're accommodating so much for the interior that included Linval and Sheldon Richardson that it just creates so many one-on-one opportunities for Danielle Hunter to go out and just whoop the tackle and come right around for a sack. And I think that's really valuable. And I don't think anyone would argue with that. I think if you, out of all of us that, because we've seen the games, he looks like a menace out there. And he's a really helpful guy to have just around. And as for Barr, I think for the most part, he has been misused in his time in Minnesota, if it ends here. But I think he's much better going forwards than he is backwards, and that's why I never agreed with just making him a true off-the-ball linebacker. They could have done so many more things with him. He could have been a more dynamic player and pass rusher that would come in, or just that fifth rusher, really. You can stress certain spots. You can put him in certain things, start zone blitzing. Everything opens up, and they just never really did it, which I find really weird, considering Zimmer is one of the best defensive minds, or at least has been touted as one of the best defensive minds in the NFL. So the one thing I will say, however, too, is those final 3 games, they used him a lot more aggressively than they were prior, and that's actually where all 3 of his sacks came in. We saw more blitzing. He was blowing things up more, but why did this take 5 years? I'm just curious. But I think the real issue here is because obviously I think Minnesota would like to have them both. I don't think it accommodates for that because it's going to be a price thing. That's what this all comes down to. And I think a 3-4 team might look at Barr and be like, yeah, that could be worth $13 to $15 million a year potentially if they see, oh, he has pass rushing skills. If we just build on it, we're good to go. And you could say for a pass rusher, if you're getting him at around $12, $13 million a year. That's not bad. And most certainly I wouldn't be surprised if it gets up to 15 or 16 million if he hits free agency. But for a 4-3 team like we are, it's really hard to say, oh no, he's worth that 15 million when he's not even a real true off the ball linebacker and he doesn't get sacks really. He doesn't get pass deflections, he doesn't get interceptions. He's mostly just a big tree there in zone coverage, even though he doesn't look all that comfortable all the time there. And that's kind of his thing. And Richardson, I think, will be closer to his $8 million cap hit that he had. And will it be the exact same? Will we only have to pay him $8 million? Probably not. But I'm not expecting it to go too much higher than 10. As where Barr, I think the conversation starts at 12 or 13 million, and I could easily end at 15 or 16 million, depending on who else is talking to him. And I just don't think it's worth it to bring back Barr, really. And I would much prefer keep Richardson just because I think he adds this defensive interior presence that we thought we were going to get when we got Sharif Floyd, but then obviously that kind of didn't happen. But I would like to know what you guys think down below, if this is kind of similar along your guys' thought lines, or if Barr's too irreplaceable, I guess, to replace, even though I think we might be able to find a better scheme fit and just someone who just fits everything better, because we can find a guy who can be more of a coverage specialist in such a pass-happy league for less than what we will get Barr. So just my thought. I would like to know what you guys think down in the comment section below. And until next time, I bid y'all adieu.